She fell, not slowly, not gracefully. One moment she stood in light, next moment she broke through it like glass. Emily the seraphim, the one who sang louder than the others, the one who believed more than the others, dropped. No warning, no trial, no last word, just a silence, then fire. You need to understand who she was before this matters. Emily was not weak, she was not reckless, she followed order, she followed purpose. She believed heaven meant something real. She believed justice had weight, she believed mercy had limits. That belief is what killed her place in heaven. It started small, a question, one question. Why do some souls beg and still burn? Why do some repent and still get denied? She asked it once, no answer. She asked again, they told her to stop. That should have been the end. But she kept going. She watched judgment. She watched souls get sorted like files. Efficient, cold, final. She saw fear in their eyes. She saw confusion. She saw people who did not understand why they were condemned. And she felt something she was never meant to feel. Doubt. That doubt spread fast. It infected her thoughts. It made her hesitate during judgment. It made her pause when she should have acted. And heaven does not tolerate hesitation. Not from a seraphim. Not from someone who stands so close to the throne. They called it deviation. They called it instability. They called it a threat. Emily called it honesty. That difference sealed her fate. They brought her in silence. No audience. No spectacle. Just a quiet chamber. Bright, empty, too clean. They told her she had lost alignment. They told her she had forgotten her role. She did not argue. That is what surprised them. She agreed. She said maybe the role was wrong. That sentence ended everything. You do not question the role. You do not question the system. And you never suggest it is wrong. The moment she said it, the light around her shifted. Not dim, not fading, just distant, like something had stepped away from her. They did not shout, they did not punish her with anger. That would imply emotion. They removed her, clean, precise, absolute, wings stripped, halo cracked, authority erased. Then they opened the void beneath her feet. No ceremony, no goodbye. She fell. The fall felt endless. No air, no sound, just pressure. Like reality itself rejected her. Her form changed as she dropped. Light burned off. Not like fire, like erosion. Piece by piece. She tried to hold it together. She tried to stay who she was. But heaven had already let go. And when heaven lets go, nothing holds. When she hit hell, it was not impact, it was absorption. The ground did not crack, it swallowed. Heat rushed in, noise exploded around her, screams, laughter, chaos, everything she had never experienced at once. She tried to stand, her body felt wrong, heavy, dense. Real in a way she never felt before, no glow, no weightless grace, just gravity. She looked at her wings. What remained of them? Torn, burned, blackened at the edges. Still there, but wrong. Like a memory of what they used to be. She reached for her halo. It was gone. In its place, nothing, just empty space above her head. That is when it hit her. She was no longer a seraphim, not even close. She was something else now, something undefined. Hell noticed her fast. You do not hide something like that. The air shifted around her, demons felt it. Power does not disappear, it changes, and hers still existed. Twisted, unstable, raw. They came to see her, not to attack, not yet, to observe. A fallen seraphim is rare, valuable, dangerous. She stood there, surrounded, trying to understand what she had become. They expected rage. They expected denial. They expected her to lash out. She did not. She asked a question. Where am I needed? That confused them more than anything. Hell does not run on need. It runs on want, power, survival, control. Her question did not fit. That made her unpredictable. And unpredictability in hell is currency. Time passed, not measured, not structured. Just events, encounters, tests. She learned quickly. She had to. Hell does not give time to adjust. You adapt or you get erased. She fought, at first out of defense, then out of necessity. Her power shifted with her. It no longer felt clean. It burned, it tore, it responded to emotion. Anger made it stronger, doubt made it unstable. She started to understand something important. Heaven gave her control, hell gave her freedom. That freedom came with cost, no guidance, no certainty. Every action had consequence, immediate, brutal, real. She saw suffering again, but this time it was different. In heaven, suffering was distant, observed, processed, filed away. Here it was constant, tangible, everywhere. And something changed in her because of it. Her question from before did not disappear. It evolved. Now she did not ask why people were condemned. She asked what happens after. She saw souls break. She saw others adapt. She saw some rise, not to redemption, but to power. Hell did not erase identity. It reshaped it. That realization shook her more than her fall, because it meant something heaven never admitted. Judgment was not the end. It was a transition. And if that was true, then everything she believed was incomplete. She started acting differently. She did not align with demons. She did not oppose them fully either. She moved between conflicts, intervened when she chose, fought when she had to, helped when it made sense. No rule, no system, just decisions, her decisions. That made her dangerous in a new way. Not because of power alone, but because she could not be predicted. Demons tried to recruit her. Some tried to control her. Others tried to eliminate her. None succeeded. She was not the same being who fell. She was sharper now, harder, less certain, but more aware. She stopped seeing things in absolutes, good, evil, right, wrong. Those lines blurred fast in hell, and she adapted to that blur. Her power kept changing. It no longer resembled divine light. It carried heat, pressure, distortion. When she used it, the space around her reacted like reality resisted her presence. Some called it corrupted grace. Others called it something new entirely. She did not care about the label. She cared about control. Because without control, she would become like the worst parts of hell. And she refused that. Even now. Even after everything, she refused to lose that part of herself, the part that asked questions, the part that hesitated, the part heaven tried to erase. That part became her core. One day she encountered something unexpected, a soul that should have broken, but did not. It stood firm, aware, defiant, not powerful, not special, just unwilling to lose itself. She saw her old self in that soul, not the power, the belief. And for the first time since she fell, she felt something close to purpose again. Not assigned, not commanded, chosen. She protected that soul. Not because she had to, because she decided to. That decision changed everything. It gave her direction, not a path, not a destiny, just direction. She started seeking others like it, not to save them, not to redeem them, just to give them a chance to choose. The same choice she never got in heaven. That made her an anomaly. A fallen seraphim creating space for choice inside hell. Both sides would hate that if they understood it fully. Heaven would call it corruption. Hell would call it disruption. She called it balance. Not the kind she believed in before. Not a system, not a structure, a moving point, a constant adjustment. That idea shaped her actions. She stopped trying to fix everything. She focused on moments, decisions, intersections where outcomes shift. That is where she acted. That is where she mattered. Her name started to spread, not as a ruler, not as a savior, something else, a presence, a force that appears when things could go either way. Some feared her, some sought her. Most did not understand her. That worked in her favor, because understanding leads to control, and she refused to be controlled again. But there is one problem she has not solved. Heaven has not forgotten her. You do not lose a seraphim and ignore it. They watch, they calculate, they wait. Because if Emily proves something they denied, if her existence shows their system is flawed, they will act. Not out of anger, out of correction. And correction in heaven is absolute. Emily knows this. She feels it. Not as fear, as inevitability. She knows they will come. The only question is when. And when they do, she will face something she has not faced since her fall. A choice that affects more than herself. Stand against heaven, or return and accept their truth. The difference now is simple. She will not accept anything without questioning it. And this time she has something she did not have before. Experience, pain, perspective. And that makes her more dangerous than she ever was as a seraphim. Because before, she followed. Now, she decides. They do not arrive with noise. Heaven never needs spectacle. The first sign is absence. Areas of hell go quiet. Not peaceful, hollow. Sound cuts off, movement slows. Even the strongest entities feel it and step back. Something higher is pressing down. Emily feels it before she sees anything. Her body reacts. Old instincts wake up. Structure, order, obedience. She forces them down. She has trained herself for this. She will not kneel again without reason. The sky of hell does not open. It tightens. Light does not shine, it intrudes. Thin lines at first, sharp, controlled. Then they widen. Not warm, not welcoming. Precise, like a blade cutting through a surface. And then they step through. Not an army, not yet. 3 figures, enough. Each one carries authority that distorts the space around them. Not raw power, controlled power, focused, directed. The kind Emily once carried without thinking. Now she sees it from the outside. It looks different, colder, more calculated. They do not rush her, they do not attack, they observe, measure, confirm. One steps forward, the one in the center, higher rank. You can tell from how the others hold position behind. Emily, they still use her name. That detail matters. Names hold identity. Identity holds leverage. She does not respond immediately. She studies them. Their wings are intact, perfect. Their halos stable, unbroken. No flicker, no hesitation. They have not changed. That confirms something she suspected. Heaven does not evolve fast. It maintains, it preserves, it corrects deviations. It does not adapt. You have deviated beyond acceptable limits. The voice is calm, neutral, no anger, no judgment, just a statement. Emily steps forward, slowed. I asked questions. Silence follows. Not confusion, not surprise. Processing. You rejected assigned purpose. I questioned assigned purpose. She holds eye contact. That matters. In heaven, lower ranks look down. Submission is built into behavior. She breaks that now, on purpose. The air tightens again. The two behind the leader shift slightly. Not aggression, readiness. They are preparing for resistance. You have altered your state. I adapted. Short answers, direct. No emotion in tone. She knows how they think. You give them nothing extra. No openings, no hesitation. Your current form is unstable. That one is true. She does not deny it. So is this system. That lands. Small, but it lands. You can see it in the slight delay before the leader responds. A fraction of a second. That is all. But for beings like them, that is deviation. You are incorrect. Then prove it. That is the moment everything shifts. She does not argue. She does not defend. She challenges. Heaven does not like challenges. Not from below. Not from former ranks. The leader steps closer. Now they are within striking range. You will return. Not a request. Not an offer. a directive. Emily feels the weight of it. Commands from higher entities carry force. They are not words. They push, they shape reality. For a second, her body reacts. Old code, old structure. She almost moves, almost complies. She stops. She locks herself in place. No. One word. Clear. Final. The reaction is immediate. The two behind step forward. Light intensifies. Pressure spikes. Hell itself reacts. Ground shifts. Structures bend. Nearby entities flee. They know what is about to happen. The leader raises a hand, stops the others. Control. Always control. You misunderstand. Return ensures correction. Refusal ensures removal. There it is. The real option. Compliance or erasure. No middle ground. No negotiation. That is Heaven's system. Emily takes another step forward. Closer now. Close enough that their fields collide. Her corrupted energy meets their structured light. The space between them distorts. Not exploding. Grinding. Two different rules trying to occupy the same point. You still think this is about me. She keeps her voice steady. It is about order. No, it is about control. Another delay. Slight. But there. She presses. You saw souls. You judged them. Did you ever question what happens after? No answer. That is answer enough. I did. She continues. And now I know. The two behind the leader move again. This time the leader does not stop them immediately. That means escalation is close. Your knowledge is corrupted. My knowledge is experienced. That line hits harder than anything before because it introduces something Heaven lacks. Direct experience beyond their system. That is dangerous. That is unpredictable. That is exactly what they eliminate. The leader lowers their hand slowly. Decision made. Then you will be removed. No more talk. No more evaluation. Action. The moment they move, everything breaks. Light lashes out. Not wide. Focused beams. Precision strikes aimed to disable, not destroy immediately. They want her contained if possible. Emily reacts faster than before. Hell trained her well. She shifts sideways. The beam cuts through where she stood. The ground does not explode. It erases. Clean. Perfect. She counters. Her power surges. Not clean. Not precise. Raw. It pushes outward in a wave. Heat. Pressure. Distortion. The beams bend slightly. Not enough to stop them. Enough to redirect. One misses. One grazes her shoulder. Pain hits instantly. Sharp. Controlled. Not like Hell's chaotic damage. This is designed to weaken. To break structure. She moves again faster now. She closes distance. That is her advantage. Heaven prefers control at range. She learned that. Up close, their precision becomes limitation. She strikes, not with a weapon, with force. Her energy compresses into her hand and releases on impact. The leader blocks. Their light forms a barrier. Clean. Perfect geometry. Her attack hits it and spreads. Cracks form. Not full breaks, but cracks. That alone is new. She never did that before. The two behind engage. One targets her movement. The other targets her core. Coordinated, efficient. She adapts mid-fight. She stops trying to match their structure. She leans into chaos. Unpredictable movement. Irregular burst. She lets her power fluctuate. That makes her harder to read. Harder to counter. One of them miscalculates slightly. That is enough. She redirects their own beam into the second attacker. Not full damage. Enough to disrupt. Formation breaks. The leader steps in directly now. No more distance. They engage her at close range. Faster. Stronger. More refined. This is what she used to be. And it shows. Every movement is efficient. No wasted motion, no excess force. She struggles at first. Their strikes land, controlled hits, designed to destabilize. She takes damage. Her form flickers, not visually, internally. She feels parts of herself try to collapse back into old structure. She resists. Hard. This is the real fight, not physical, internal. If she slips even once, they will take control. She shifts again, changes rhythm, stops reacting, starts predicting. She remembers how they think. Patterns, sequences, priority targeting. She uses it. She baits an attack, leaves an opening. The leader takes it, expected. She counters before it lands. Redirects, uses their force against them. The impact sends them back. Not far, but enough. The other two recover. They regroup. Formation again. This time tighter, more aggressive. They are done testing. Now they aim to end it. Emily stands her ground, breathing heavier. Not from exhaustion, from control. Holding her form stable takes effort. Constant effort. She cannot keep this pace forever. She knows that. So she changes strategy. She stops fighting them directly. She shifts focus. The environment. Hell itself. She learned something during her time here. Hell responds to will. Not cleanly, not predictably, but it responds. She pushes her energy outward, not as an attack, as influence. The ground reacts. Structures twist. The space becomes unstable, not collapsing. Shifting. That disrupts Heaven's advantage. Their precision relies on stable conditions. She removes that. The battlefield becomes uneven. Their movements adjust. Slight delays, slight corrections. That is all she needs. She moves through that chaos better than they do, because she is part of it now. She is not trying to control it fully. She rides it, uses it. That difference flips the fight. One of the attackers gets caught in a distortion shift. Just for a moment. That is enough. She hits them. Full force, no restraint. They crash into the ground. Their light flickers, not gone, but weakened. The leader sees it, adapts instantly. They shift strategy again, focus everything on her. End her before the environment tips further. All three attack at once. No more control, full force. The pressure spikes beyond anything before. Emily feels it. This is the limit. If she takes all three head on, she breaks. She knows that. So she does the one thing they will not expect. She stops. Not fully. She centers, pulls everything inward. Her energy compresses. Tight, dense, unstable. For a split second, nothing happens. Then she releases it. Not outward. In all directions. A burst. Not controlled. Not precise. A shockwave of corrupted power. It collides with their attacks mid-air. The result is not clean. It tears through space. Light fractures, hell fractures. For a moment, everything goes white. Then silence. When it clears, the battlefield is different. The ground is broken, space still unstable. The two attackers are down, not erased, incapacitated. The leader stands damaged, their light flickers for the first time. Small, but visible. They look at her. Not with anger, not with fear, with recognition. You have become something else. Emily stands across from them, injured, unstable, still standing. So have you. You just refuse to see it. Silence again, longer this time. Then the leader does something unexpected. They step back. Not retreat, reassessment. This is not over. Statement, not threat. I know. She does not chase, does not attack again. They retrieve the others, efficient, controlled even in damage. Then they leave. Light pulls back, the sky releases, hell breathes again. Noise returns, movement resumes, the pressure lifts. Emily stands alone in the aftermath. She does not celebrate, she does not relax. She knows what this means. This was not a full response. This was a test, and she passed in the worst way possible. She proved she can resist. She proved she can win. That guarantees one thing. Next time, they will not send 3. Next time, they will not test. They will correct. Completely. She looks around. Hell watches her now. Not with curiosity, with awareness, with calculation. Her position just changed. She is no longer an anomaly. She is a factor. A force that shifts outcomes, that draws attention from both sides, that cannot be ignored anymore. She takes a step forward, then another. She keeps moving. No hesitation, no pause, because standing still now is death. Action is survival. Choice is everything. And she has already chosen.